Hello aspirants, welcome to Focus Prep Daily Current Affairs session. Today we will discuss the current affairs of 6th of November along with all the static GK points that you need to know for your exam. And as I always do, I will explain to you all the important concepts, the meaning of the terms, English terms and meanings, those will be explained in this video. Now this you can see, this is the PDF of today's current affairs. This you will get in our Telegram channel. The name of the Telegram channel is Focus Prep Current Affairs, and this channel link it is given in the comment section. Okay, so just go to the comment section and click on the link and join this Telegram channel. Okay, here you will get the PDF, daily PDFs as well as the weekly PDFs. Okay, the topic wise sorted current affairs are there in the weekly PDF, and also regular MCQs based on daily current affairs is provided in our Telegram channel. Okay, so go to the comment section and just join this channel. Okay, so now let's start with today's most important exam oriented current affairs. Okay, see, Ashish Khanna appointed as the next Director General of ISA. ISA, it is the International Solar Alliance, right? So yesterday we learned about the ISA also, and we saw that there was a different Director General. But today the news is that the new appointment has been Ashish Khanna. Okay, the new Director General. So of course this is a very important current affairs. All these important appointments, regarding your all the exams like the PSC, the SSC exams, the RRB, the banking exams, all these exams ask this kind of question. So please remember this point. Okay, this is very important from today's perspective. Now recently, see, we have mentioned yesterday's current affairs here as well, that yesterday we learned that India and France, they were elected as the president and the co-president of the IC respectively. So that also we have mentioned here. Now some of the static GK points about this International Solar Alliance. Now this was a joint initiative, and when was this started? This started in 2015, at the UN Climate Change Conference in Paris. Even though we learned about this yesterday, so if you have not watched that video, then I'm explaining it again here. Okay, so it was a joint initiative of India and France in 2015. Okay, this was founded, and where is the headquarter? This is also very important. The headquarter of ISA is in Haryana in India. Okay, now currently there are 120 signatory countries. Okay, so 120 countries have signed this pact, and they have aligned with this International Solar Alliance. Okay, most of these countries, they lie between the tropics of Cancer and tropic of Capricorn, because those are the countries which get the maximum utility from the sunlight. And this ISA, the main goal of ISA is to promote the efficient use of solar energy, right? So instead of using fossil fuels, to promote the efficient use of solar energy, that is the purpose of this solar alliance. Okay, so most of the countries who have become the signatories, they lie between this tropic of Cancer and Capricorn, because they get most of this solar energy, right? Now let's see the next important current affairs. Now India has won 3 gold medals at the inaugural U19 World Boxing Championship. Okay, so this under 19 World Boxing Championship, here India has got 3 gold medals. Okay, now who have won them? Those names are important. We'll go through everything. Now look, this under 19 World Championship, okay, this boxing championship, where was this held? This was held in Colorado in USA. So this year, this took place in USA. This you have to remember. Now look at the names and the categories in which they won. Okay, so Parthavi Grewal won gold in the women's 65 kg category. Now to remember, this category is also important. Sometimes in your prelims or even in mains, these kind of questions, MCQs are asked, right? That in which category they won, right? So 65 kg category, in 65 kg category, Parthavi Garewal, she won it. Okay, now Vanshika Goswami, she clinched gold in women's 80 kg category. Okay, and Hemant Sangwan, he was the sole winner in the men's category. Okay, from India. Okay, Indian boxers have achieved a total of 17 medals in this tournament. Okay, so 17 medals have been won, out of which 3 are gold medals. Okay, now let's look at the GK points here. Okay, now about World Boxing, it is the international sports organization, okay, regulating this amateur boxing. So this U19, since it is under 19, so it is being called as amateur boxing. This is organized by this international sports organization called World Boxing. Okay, where is their headquarter? Again, it's important, headquarter is in Rennes. Okay, remember this. And World Boxing, this was formed, this is a very newly formed, this was formed in 2023. Okay, so it was formed last year itself. Okay, now, its formation followed a breakdown in the relation between the International Olympic Committee and the Russian led International Boxing Association. Okay, so this is just the background. You don't need this from a current affairs perspective. What you need to remember is the headquarter of World Boxing, when it was formed, and this year India has won how many gold medals and who have won which medal in which category. Okay, so now let's see the next current affairs. The fifth edition of the Vietnam-India bilateral army exercise Winbacks 2024 begins. Okay, so we have recently in all the current affairs we have learned about all these bilateral, trilateral, multilateral, various exercises, right, between various countries. Now the exercise, the army exercise, okay, bilateral army exercise between Vietnam and India, it is called Winbacks. This year's 2024, this is the fifth edition of it. This has also begun. Okay. Now, important is where has it begun? It has begun in Haryana. Okay, Chandi Mandir, Ambala, and Chandi Mandir in Haryana. So you have to remember that it has begun in Haryana, and this is the fifth edition. Okay. Now, the focus of this exercise is on the deployment of engineer units and medical teams. Now, look, why these bilateral exercises take place? These are kind of cooperative exercises, right, to enhance the cooperation between various countries. Okay, so there is one diplomatic side to it. Also, these kind of army exercises, this helps them train, right? So together they get these trainings, so this helps them train along with each other. So every time these kind of exercises takes place, there is some area which is focused on. Okay, so this year's focus was deployment of engineer units and medical teams. Okay, now look about Vietnam. Vietnam is a Southeast Asian country, right? Now the capital of Vietnam, this is again important for your GK. Okay, so capital of Vietnam is Hanoi. And what is the currency? Currency is Vietnamese dong. Okay, so remember these currencies and these things are important for your GK. These headquarters and currencies I've always told you. Okay, so Vietnamese dong is the currency. Now, Ho Chi Minh City, which was formerly known as Saigon, is known for the French colonial landmarks and Vietnam War history museums. Okay, so Ho Chi Minh City, you might have come across the name of Ho Chi Minh City. It's a very famous city. Okay, previously the name of Ho Chi Minh City was Saigon. And it is, why is it famous? It is famous because it was a French colony. Now French colonial landmarks are there and Vietnam War history museums are there, and it is very famous for it. Okay, so Ho Chi Minh City, this is in Vietnam. Okay, now let's see another important current affairs. The Henley Passport Index, this is released every year, right? This has been released again, and Singapore has topped and India has ranked 83rd. As far as I can recall, India always ranks within this 83rd, 84th itself. Okay, so now this year India has ranked 83rd. Okay, and this Henley Passport Index, Singapore has topped this. Okay, now what does this Henley Passport Index, it measures? It measures the the power of a passport. In what sense is a passport powerful? If that passport is accepted. Okay, so in how many countries a particular country's passport is acceptable, they are accepted, that is what is ranked in Henley Passport Index. Okay, so more countries that accept your passport, then your passport becomes more powerful. Okay, and how many countries is, they assess how many countries? 195 countries, and among these 195 countries India has ranked 83rd. Okay, and we can see that visa free entry, okay, visa free entry is allowed in 58 countries for the Indian citizens. So in 58 countries Indian citizens can travel with a passport, they do not need a visa. Okay, now Henley Passport Index is published by Henley and Partners, okay, which is based in United Kingdom. Okay, it is a United Kingdom based immigration consultancy. So you have to remember who publishes this, Henley and Partners, and where are they based? They are based in UK. Okay, now see some of the static GK points about Henley Passport Index. This index was created by Dr. Christian H. Kaelin. Okay, this name Dr. Christian H. Kaelin, and it was launched in 2006. Okay, the rankings are based on the data. Where do they take the data from? They take their data from International Air Transport Association, IATA, which is the largest database of all the travel information. So when someone is flying from one country to the other, these informations, the largest database for the travel informations is kept by International Air Transport Association, IATA. and from them, these Henley Passport Index, the authorities, they take this data and they create this index. Okay. Now, Henley Passport Index, it includes a total of 199 different passports, okay, and they rank the passports based on the visa-free access, diplomatic relations, and international agreements. Okay, so they just you can say in a sense that this index, it gives you an idea about our diplomatic relations as well. So if India has a good relation, then it will be allowed visa-free. Like we have a lot of countries with whom we share border, and we have a very you can say very porous border, which means that we can easily travel from one country to other, like with Bhutan, right, with Nepal, right, with Myanmar. All these countries we share our borders with. Okay, and it has been seen that with 58 countries, India can have this visa free access. Okay, so this index, this measures the visa free access of the countries, also the diplomatic relations, that is how our international relations are there with other countries, and also what international agreements we have with them. Okay, now let's come to the next point. Legendary folk singer Sharda Sinha, Bihar Kokila, passes away. Very important personality, Sharda Sinha. She was called the Bihar Kokila. Why Bihar Kokila? Because she is a very, her voice was very beautiful. She sang beautifully. So she was called the Nightingale of Bihar or Bihar Kokila. Okay, she was also lovingly called Voice of Bihar. Okay, and she has passed away. So this becomes a very important current affairs. Okay, who was called Bihar Kokila? Sharda Sinha. And in which languages did she sing? She sang in Moithili, Bhojpuri, and also in Magadhi. Okay, so these languages, this also become important, that in which languages she used to sing. She used to sing in Maithili, Bhojpuri, and Magadhi. Okay, so this is very, very important current affairs. You can expect, questions from here, MCQs from here. Okay, now let's go to the next one. Now, NTPC and ONGC, they have formed a 50-50 joint venture for advancing India's renewable energy goals. So, India, takes part in a lot of conventions, United Nations conventions, a lot of global conventions, whereby India asserts that they will, invest in renewable energy, right? There are a lot of renewable energy goals, a lot of target years have been set by India as well. So, to help India achieve those, NTPC and ONGC, they have together formed a 50-50 joint venture company, okay, through their subsidiaries. Which subsidiaries? NTPC Green Energy Limited and ONGC Green Energy Limited. Okay, so these are the subsidiaries of NTPC, is the mother company, right? And same for the ONGC, it is the mother company, and under them they have separately formed the subsidiaries Green Energy Limited, which will focus on green energy, which will focus on renewable energy, right? Now these two subsidiaries, they have together in a 50-50 joint venture, they have formed a company. And why have they formed this collaboration? To help India achieve their renewable goals. So they will expand, they will invest in the renewable energy sector, like all the sector, all those solar energy initiatives, right, ventures that take place, or wind energy, green hydrogen, sustainable aviation fuel. In all these aspects, they will invest, they will expand these sectors, so that India can have more renewable energy, and they can, India can gradually shift away from what? From fossil fuels to towards more green energy power, right? Now let's see the static GK points about National Thermal Power Corporation and some ONGC. Also, we will look into the GK points about ONGC. Now, what does NTPC stand for? It stands for National Thermal Power Corporation, right? So NTPC stands for National Thermal Power Corporation, and it is the Indian statutory corporation founded in 1975. Now, what are statutory corporations? Statutory corporations or bodies, these are organizations or corporations which are found by, some law. After passing a particular law or a particular legislation, if a body comes into existence, then we call it statutory corporation. Okay. Now, you might have come across this in your polity as well, right? In polity also, you've learned about constitutional bodies and statutory bodies. Constitutional bodies are what? Bodies which are mentioned in the constitution itself. There is no other law or legislation that is passed for it. But if a particular corporation or organization comes into existence by passing a particular law, then it is called statutory corporation. Like like SBI was also formed by passing the SBI Act, right? So it is also a statutory body. Okay. Now let's see the next point. NTPC is India's largest power utility, and it is a Maharatna PSU. Okay, so this you have to remember. that it is India's largest power utility corporation. Okay, it is the largest power utility of India. And the status is also important to remember, that it is a Maharatna PSU. Often these kind of questions are asked in your MCQs, right? That maybe four options will be given, and you will be asked that which of the following is, say, a Maharatna company, or you'll be given four options and asked which of the following is a Navratna company, like that. So you have to remember this. Okay, and this operates under the Ministry of Power. Okay, so the ministry, it is under the Ministry of Power. Now look at ONGC. It is an Indian multinational corporation in the crude oil and gas sector. What is the full form of ONGC? The name only has it that it is an oil and natural gas corporation. So in the crude oil and gas sector, it is an Indian multinational corporation. So it's founded in India, but it operates globally, right? Now, ONGC is India's largest oil and gas company, okay, and it is a Maharatna PSU. So, India's largest oil and gas company, it is ONGC. You have to remember this. Again, the status, it's a Maharatna status company. And it operates under the Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas. So, these ministries you can guess from the options only, right? That Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas, the name only has it. And similarly, NTPC, since it is a power providing company, so it also operates under Ministry of Power. This you can guess from the options, right? Now let's see the next important current affairs. The Karen Oil and Gas joins UNEP, the United Nations Environment Program. So, Karen Oil and Gas have joined UNEP, that is the United Nations Environment Program 2.0, OGMP 2.0. What this is, we will learn about it, okay? And what is the aim? It is to reduce methane emissions. Now, Karen Oil and Gas, it is a part of the Vedanta Group. Vedanta Group is the mother company, okay? And this has become the first oil and gas producer of India to join this United Nations Environment Program, and this venture of oil and gas methane partnership 2.0. Okay, OGMP 2.0. Now, by signing this agreement, Karen has committed to reduce methane emissions effectively. Okay, so this OGMP, it is a part of UNEP, and Karen has committed to reduce methane emissions effectively. Okay, now let's look at about this OGMP 2.0. What this is, this partnership, what is this all about? Oil and gas methane partnership 2.0. Now, this will provide, what is the purpose of this OGMP 2.0? It provides a robust framework with best practices for methane emission management. Okay, so it will provide a robust framework, that is infrastructure, right? It will give a framework to give the best practices for reducing methane emissions, to manage it, to reduce it effectively. Okay, so this initiative, what is the aim? The aim is to enhance accuracy and quality of emissions data, right? So if you don't have the emission data where from these methanes are being emitted, you don't have accurate quality data, then you cannot manage it, right? So this is one of the aim. And OGMP 2.0, it is it currently covers 40% of the global oil and gas production. Okay, now let's look into UNEP, the United Nations Environment Program. This is very important topic of your environment. Okay, if you have not learned it, you'll learn it. The UNEP coordinates responses to the environmental issues within the United Nations system. Okay, so it is a part of the United Nations system, and it is a program, environmental conservation program. Okay, now UNEP, this was founded in 1972 by a Canadian philanthropist, Maurice Strong. Okay, now, this UNEP, this was founded in 1972 and by a Canadian philanthropist, Maurice Strong. So, this name you have to remember, Maurice Strong, okay? And he was a Canadian philanthropist. What does philanthropist means? Philanthropist means those who work for the, betterment of human race, for the cause of humanity, right? Now, this was formed where? It was formed during the United Nations Conference on the Human Environment that took place in Stockholm. Okay, so this is also called the Stockholm Conference. So, United Nations Conference on the Human Environment, the Stockholm Conference, this is where this UNEP, this was founded in the year 1972. So, this you need to remember. Okay. Now let's look at the next one. Riddhiman Saha announces retirement from all forms of cricket. So Riddhiman Saha, he is an Indian wicketkeeper and batter, right? So he has announced retirement from all forms of cricket. So again, important personality. What was he associated with? He was associated with wicketkeeping and batting. Okay. So now he has announced retirement from all formats of cricket. Okay. So that is all for today. That is all the important exam centric news that we had for today. Okay. So we are putting in all the efforts to go through these newspapers and collect for you only the important current affairs that you need for your exams, and also the static GK points that you need for your exams. So for all these concepts, these are also being explained in this video. So just go through this once and then download the PDF from our Telegram channel. Okay, you'll get the link in the comment section. Download it, give it a good read, and also please solve the MCQs, okay, the regular MCQs that we conduct. In that way your whole thing will be completed. Every day if you give around 15 to 20 minutes for your current affairs, this whole thing, you don't have to rush, just before the exam. Okay, so 15 to 20 minutes every day put in for your current affairs, because otherwise what happens is that just before the exam, you guys start to look for all the compilations and you start memorizing them. Now that is a very wrong approach. Okay, memorization for these kind of factual informations, it can be disastrous for your exams. Okay, but you're already learning about the GS, GK, math, everything, and then again memorizing this, it won't work. Okay, so maybe I'll bring a strategy video for you. If I get the time, I'll make a strategy video, and maybe on Sunday I can release that. Okay, that how you can utilize our materials to get the maximum benefit, okay, for your exams. Okay, so I will try to bring that. Okay, so that is all for today. Thank you everyone.